What are the Three Dharma Seals? They are the truth of the universe. The Buddha discovered this and taught us the three principles to know the things we see and the methods we use. In other words, it is the Buddha Dharma, the authentic Dharma. We use them universally to confirm our body and mind, the outside world, and everything else. Just like the official seals used in our society, it is the seal of Dharma often mentioned by the Buddha. As a Buddhist practitioner, we should master the Three Dharma Seals to verify the principles we've learned, the various situations faced, and the problems encountered. They guide our actions and thinking and practice. This is the right way. The First Dharma Seal is, all phenomena are impermanent. What does it mean? It means everything in the world is in constant cycles of birth, change, and death. What happened in the past has already changed, and what exists now will eventually vanish into thin air. This is the First Dharma Seal. Take our lives, for example. Our parents brought us into this world. We grow up day by day and go to school. When we are married, we spend the majority of the time with our spouse. Then we have our own kids, and we shift focus mainly onto them. At work, we interact with our colleagues and customers. As time goes by, our children grow up, get married, and have their kids, and we become older and older. We see our kids and their next generation growing up, while we are aging day after day. At a certain point, we will meet death. Our lives are like walking in a time tunnel. Our surroundings, body, and mind are changing constantly without a moment to stop, moving forward with time. Our life journey is a course of birth, old age, sickness, and death. We use our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind to perceive everything and find that nothing is permanent. All things are changing. Is the sun permanent? We see the sunrise and sunset for a whole life. Is the moon permanent? We see the moonrise and moonset every day too. According to scientific research, the sun and moon also have their lifespans and will not exist forever. Nothing in the world is permanent. This is the First Dharma Seal, and it is very important for us to understand it.
As a Buddhist, we know this truth and realize that all phenomena are impermanent. Then we need to let go of attachment to everything. We can see the outside world with appreciation and perceive it with an acceptable mind. We live peacefully in the world of impermanence and see through it. Gradually, the ultimate and eternal truth emerges from our pursuit. This is the enlightenment of the First Dharma Seal. Every day we keep practicing, studying, and doing good deeds because we want to find a thread or a path from this impermanent world. Then we turn our realization of this impermanence of everything in this world, like surroundings and all changes, into helping with our cultivation. If something occurs, we can use the First Dharma Seal, all phenomena are impermanent, to verify them. For example, what is the thing made of? Does it change or stay the same? How often does it change? What kind of impermanent state is it in? We need to contemplate all these questions. Thus, we treat everything in life with the First Dharma Seal. All phenomena are impermanent at every moment of every day. Then we can gradually develop a thinking pattern. Since we know all phenomena are impermanent and nothing can be kept forever, why do we feel attached? What's the point of clinging to these things that are constantly changing? Furthermore, why should we suffer from birth, old age, sickness, and death? The same with fame, fortune, and all kinds of materialistic gains. Why do we care? All phenomena are impermanent. this First Dharma Seal is the foremost element and principle we use to analyze and make decisions about ourselves, the world, and everything around us. Step by step, we understand the truth and get used to analyzing all things with impermanence. Gradually, we learn to let go of things and all phenomena, instead of holding on to them tightly. When facing various phenomena in this changing society, we learn to let go of attachments and show no particular interest in or disgust with anything. Regardless of whether we walk among the blooming flowers or in a smelly garbage dump or under bizarre and dazzling lights, we learn to see through them along our life's journey. We stroll peacefully and pacify them easily. We will not be distracted or stopped by our surroundings. Neither will we be entangled by the sensual phenomena or let ourselves fall into the worldly dharma. If we are accustomed to using the Dharma Seal of impermanence to deal with everything, slowly our minds will loosen these tightly wrapped thoughts that we were originally attached to, and gradually we will relax and untie the entanglement. If we can use the First Dharma Seal of all phenomena are impermanent to guide all our activities, step by step we will be able to see everything in this world clearly, not confused or entangled by anything around us. Gradually, we can liberate ourselves from the 6 roots, 6 objects of the senses, and the 6 senses, unraveled bit by bit from our body and mind, and gradually returning to our true nature. As said in the Heart Sutra, when we see through the 5 skandhas, we will return to the original mind. Then, like all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, we will be able to walk and live freely in this world, manifested into hundreds of millions of bodies without attachment to anything. We can save all beings from suffering, truly live in this world without restriction, and master all truth as a greatly enlightened being, like the Buddha or Bodhisattva. This is how we use the Dharma Seal of impermanence to analyze, observe, and deal with everything around us. Slowly, we will embark on the fundamental path to return home.
The second Dharma Seal is called non-self. What does non-self mean? It means that in all Dharma of action and inaction, there is not the sense of I, one's identity. The perduring I is only a relative physical and psychological illusion, because the Buddha Dharma tells us that the origin of everything is the true self. This true self has no dualism, no birth and death, and is our fundamental nature. Later, because of differentiation, attachment, and ignorance, we separate and obscure the real true self. As a result, our perception becomes smaller and smaller. Eventually, we can only perceive our body and incorrectly think that the body is the true self. So we begin to do all kinds of things due to this wrong understanding. For this I, we compete, we start wars, and we hurt others. But we don't know it's wrong. It's an illusion because of our dualistic thoughts and ignorance. In fact, mountains, rivers, the earth, and all other life forms are all parts of the true self. Because of our ignorance and clinging to the state of egoism, we tend to harm others, thus it produces a variety of karmas. We are pushed forward by these karmas and cannot stop, which constantly produces various forms of birth and death. Then, doubts continuously emerge within these tiny forms of birth and death. Hence, we create various disturbances and bear all consequences. The second Dharma Seal, non-self, teaches us how to analyze ourselves and how to define the true self. The current I, as we usually know it, is a wrong understanding. Let's think about it. Our life is formed by the combinations of our parents' blood, their kidney essence, and our own isolated consciousness. During our growth, we absorb the matter of the world to form our body. Such an entity formed is also constantly changing and experiencing birth and death. It is also one phenomenon of impermanence. How could it be the true self for us? By using the First Dharma Seal for analysis, we know that our current situation is not real. Bear this truth in mind. We must know that the body, mind, family, and life, everything is a kind of energy, or an aggregation formed through the various elements of I. What do we practice in Buddhism? We want to gradually get rid of I, as it is elusive, and we must transform wrong understanding and let go of all attachments step by step. Once we liberate the entangled I and eliminate self-attachment, we will reach the state of non-self. By that time, we will get to a deeper understanding of this world, of the truth, and of so-called I. In other words, the journey of our practice is a process of letting go of self-attachment. The Buddha told us that this will be achieved gradually through the way of practicing precepts, concentration, and wisdom. It is also realized gradually through refraining from all wrongdoings, doing all wholesome needs, and purifying oneself.
The six-part cultivation also tells us that practice is to dissolve and transform our karma formed in the past through Buddha's teachings. Gradually, we can change the state of I, which means to elevate ourselves from the three evil paths to the three good paths, and to the path of humans and gods. In this life, we strive to be reborn in the Western Pure Land. After getting there, Amitabha will teach us until we finally remove the attachments to both I and Dharma. We will attain Buddhahood and return to the true nature. We will obtain the ultimate nirvana of eternity, joy, freedom, and peace, and realize the process of returning to the origin. For fellow practitioners, it's particularly important to understand non-self. Why? Because people are tightly attached to the perduring I. We always say that I am doing this or that. I have done this or that today. We are accustomed to thinking that I am doing something. This body is my perjuring I, etc. When hosting an event, we are used to saying that I am hosting, or I have done so well that Dharma siblings have benefited. This intensifies the concept of I and reinforces our own ego. Such intentions are wrong, as they won't remove the I. On the contrary, they reinforce our ego and ultimately create more afflictions. In Buddhist cultivation and practice, it is easy to have afflictions. Why? The core is that we don't understand the second Dharma Seal taught by the Buddha called non-self. Consciously or subconsciously, we reinforce our ego. While we are providing the Dharma with services, we're doing all kinds of other things. So suffering occurs. Therefore, as practitioners, we should pay special attention and learn the second Dharma Seal, which is called non-self. We see through the body as form, not I at all times. Everything we do is impermanent, not with I. When our life approaches its end, the body dies too, but again, not with a perjuring eye. We must understand this truth, keep it in mind, and stay with the non-self, anatta, thought. We practice, study, or do good deeds unattached. We are truly happy, free of afflictions for whatever comes out of certain issues. Since everything is impermanent, we take it easy and try our best for fulfillment. When the result turns out to be unsound because of various conditions and restrictions, we still accept the situation, relax, and are not worried. Why? Time will show everything the path to its extinction. We should gradually cultivate our mind into a non-self state. It helps the I to get rid of attachments to surroundings and delusions all the time. Step by step, we get liberated from those attachments, go beyond the mind of the perjuring I, and attain anatta. Then we will be truly happy. Why? With a mind of perjuring I, deluded thoughts of differentiation arise. The thoughts of you, me, and her arise to bring us afflictions. Without a mind of perjuring I, everything is complete and self-sufficient, and everything is just a part of our true self. Why afflictions then? For example, you did something and helped others. It was part of us, true self. Some case with others helping you with something. It was part of us, true self, too. By cultivating our mind this way, we will go beyond egoism and be liberated. It shows our cultivation of achievement as a Dharma practitioner if we can do well in all practices. That means we can act and communicate from others' perspectives, making people feel happy. Our acts and communication complying with the Buddha Dharma, the law of cause and effect, along with all the Buddha's teachings too. So, there should not be any split between Dharma and true self. The Buddha Dharma and what we do are not separate from each other. Gradually, they become one. It means we not only follow the Buddha's teachings and the Dharma Seals, impermanence and non-self. We also get things done properly, satisfying people's needs in a realistic way.
The third Dharma Seal is nirvana. Everyone lives within the surroundings formed by their body, consciousness, and living environment. Being somewhat trapped inside, we are busy every day for the sake of this I dealing with this or that issue. Maybe today someone has cancer, or tomorrow someone else will be in trouble. Ever since childhood, we have experienced wedding ceremonies, funerals, and all kinds of life events surrounding us. We thought it was my life. It is not. From the Buddhist's point of view, everything is an illusion, and it is driven by karma. As a Dharma practitioner, we should see through all of this with the viewpoint of impermanence and non-self. As we practice step by step, we understand thoroughly all the Dharma seals and finally return to the true nature, the ultimate stage of not produced, not destroyed. Then we are at complete peace and perfect tranquility, the attainment of nirvana. Perfect tranquility refers to the state of nirvana. It extinguishes all the sufferings of birth and death, being actionless in the peaceful happiness. Therefore, nirvana is perfect tranquility and is also the ultimate stage of cultivation. In cultivation, once we stabilize and cease all kinds of bodily, speech, and mind fluctuations, we become quiet and peaceful. We can then gradually gain the true happiness of nirvana. Nirvana is like mastery through cultivation, not written words or talk. Similarity. You could use the third Dharma seal of nirvana to confirm the results of our practice. If you become a bad-tempered person, have increasingly delusional thoughts, and even give credit to yourself after practice, it means that you are taking the wrong path. Cultivation should make your mind peaceful and eventually end the cycle of birth and death. This is the right way.
The third Dharma seal of nirvana is a good measure in society. There are many practicing methods that are promoted. How can one know that it is Dharma? Use the third seal of nirvana to be sure. If the practice advocates using sex or vulgar methods to obtain spiritual liberation, this must be nonsense and a cult. If someone is still tossing about eye behavior, materialism, and methods, this is a cult as well. Dharma practice is for liberation, to attain the state of nirvana. The three Dharma seals are our standard for practicing, analyzing ourselves and others, and examining everything in the world. This standard is the standard of the Buddha, the standard of authentic Dharma, and the standard to ensure that all our actions are correct. It is all wrong if it is not used to attain the ultimate liberation. Therefore, in the process of practice, study, and doing good deeds, we should get used to analyzing any method we learn or any problems we encounter with the three Dharma seals. In the long run, we will have a standard and will not get lost in this world. It's like having a Buddha eye forever, illuminating our path. In the end, we will be able to return to our original home. This criterion is very critical. As well, it relies much on everyone's application and practice.